Hey guys, here are with another update video on how the engine project's going on the Mercury. And so far I've gotten a lot done. I've gotten a lot of stuff off. I got all the engine harness, what little of it there was, all the wires, all the vacuum lines, I got the carburetor off, got the spark plug wires out of the way, got the fan off, got the radiator shroud off, all that stuff. And that's all sitting over on the bench right now. I just got all the bell housing bolts out, and I was gonna get the exhaust flanges here right there, and then the one on the other side off, but my air compressor done broke, so I don't have an air compressor. I don't have power tools to get that off with, and I already tried one of them with my hands. It's not coming off with a breaker bar, so I'm gonna have to get a new air compressor, which is really frustrating because I was hoping I could have had that done tonight. That was kind of like the goal, but I completely spaced out and forgot that you got to unbolt the torque converter from the flywheel. Otherwise, you're gonna pull the torque converter out with you when you pull the engine out. So what I got going on underneath here right now is this Ford's. You don't have an inspection cover that is the whole bottom part of the bell housing like you do with Chevys and Chryslers. So you need to take off this inspection cover right here to get to the bolts, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. And what I'm figuring out here is that somebody must have had this transmission out before, because this bolt here was a 3/8, and this bolt is not a 3/8, but it's too small to be a 5/16. So that's why I got my crescent wrench here, because I'm gonna try and get this off with the crescent wrench, because I don't know what size that is, and it's got a washer on it too, and the other one did not have a washer on it. So I think either it's really fucked up from the factory, or somebody was in here before and did this transmission. So I don't know. The car has been in the family for its entire life, so if someone did work on this, it was a mechanic. So you'd think they'd put the same bolt back in, but I don't know, you never know. There's some shady people out there. Also, what I'm doing here is the exact opposite of what you should do when you're working on a car like this, especially a heavy car like this. I got the jack up on here with no jack stands. I thought this was going to be quick, so I just didn't even bother grabbing jack stands, and now I'm already under here, so too late, I guess. So let me get you up. I'm going to get this bolt out, and then I'll get you up top side, and I'll show you what I've done so far. Alrighty, quick, before I go back up, this is what it looks like behind there. And that's a flywheel, and that actually looks really good for a 51-year-old car. Holy crap. I mean, that's shiny. That's really shiny. The one of my Oldsmobile, which is 10 years newer than this, was rustier than this. So basically, I don't see any bolts for this right now. There might be one hiding back in there, but I'm gonna have to put a wrench on the crank and turn this piece of shit over until I see one. Break that loose, pull it out, turn it over again, break that loose, pull it out. You know how it goes. I don't know how exactly this starter is mounted. It looks like it's bolted into the transmission. So I'm going to have to pull the starter, which I didn't want to have to do because it's going to be stuck and it's going to be a pain in the ass. But I guess I'm going to have to. And then also the rest of this inspection cover thing looks like it might be part of the transmission, but the flywheel is obviously behind it, and the flywheel is going to come with the engine. So I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. I'm a little fuzzy on that. I've never done a Ford transmission before, so I have no idea what to expect with that. But let me get you up top here, and I'll show you what I've done. Alright, so see, I got the fan off, got the fan shroud, I got the fan clutch, all that good stuff. I had to take the alternator off because I had to take the wires off to it. And I wasn't able to do it with it still on the car, so I had to take that off. Disconnect the battery, obviously. I disconnected my negative lead to the engine block, which was down in there. I can't see it right now because the camera won't focus, but you get the picture. Carburetor came off. Don't mind that hammer. all the linkages and everything, I just pulled them back and zip tied it to the engine harness up here. The actual engine harness that went to the ignition coil is wrapped around this, as well as that power steering line, which I did have to cut, unfortunately. I didn't want to have to cut any lines because God knows I'm not going to be able to find any new ones, but it was really stuck on there. It wouldn't come off, so I had to cut it, unfortunately. So that's right there. But yeah, all that I really need to do left, the AC lines also came off. There was no refrigerant left in it. Go figure, so I'm going to have to buy some R12. Anyway, only things that need to be done yet left are the exhaust flanges. And of course, it's not a Y pipe. It's duals coming. It's two separate manifolds. They don't come into one another, so I'm going to have to do two of them. Go figure. But exhaust, flywheel bolts, and motor mounts, and that's it. And it's free. Then it can come up. I haven't figured out exactly where the motor mounts are yet, so I'm going to have to look in my book or look on a YouTube or I don't know, Google it and see where they're at. I think there's two of them both on both control arms on the frame, but I think there's another one somewhere probably they'll have to take off. So I'll take them off. I'm going to take this hood off so I don't damage it while I'm pulling this motor out, because I know for a fact that something will go wrong like that. So I'll have to mark the hood up and pull that off. But I think, I'm recording this on Wednesday night, and I think by Saturday night this engine should be on that hoist right there and ready to be taken apart. And yeah, so there's a little update on what we got going on here. I'm gonna get some jack stands underneath here and take that flywheel off, or take that unbolt the torque converter from the flywheel, and I'll post another update when I get the engine out. See you then.